Okay, thank you.
Yes. Welcome, everyone. So a few props that are helpful to have. One is a blanket or a pillow, something soft that will help, actually not soft, firm, but soft, that can help you prop you up as you're seated in a cross-legged position. And number two is just block. If you have yoga blocks, then let's utilize them. If you do not have a yoga block, anything in your household that's of this size, not necessarily the shape, but maybe the height would work. There's a number of varieties, things you can use. You can even use a chair today for some of the movements that we'll go through. We're going to start with tension, grounding, and breathing. You can sit up tall in your spine, take the shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Welcome yourself on your mat as if you'd welcome a friend, that you haven't seen for a long time. This is a class for you. Take the necessary time to relax and release anything that's on your shoulders or burdens. And of course, you can pick them up when you're done if necessary. So for right now, big welcome, and just be glad to have yourself on your mat. We'll start with just the arm wide and stretch from fingertip to fingertip. Full breath in. As you exhale, cross the arms in front. Inhale, take your wingspan and open again, leaning forward. Exhale, draw back. Inhale. Very fluid motion here. So we want to become less stiff and rigid and more mobile and supple. It's usually in our life, we have periods of time where we're seated, periods of time where we're standing. It's less likely that we have periods of time when we're fluid. So this is fluid. Let's take it up and over to the right. Again, just being mindful of the fluidness. Inhale, center, exhale over to the left. Inhale, center, and again, my name is Linda Ack. I'm sure you know that from signing up on the class. Inhale, up and over. And one more time here to the right. And up and over to the left. And we're going to do something interesting with the arm. We're just going to sweep it in a circle, open the heart, and then plant the hand. So this becomes much more of a dance, fluid, than it does just being side to side. It's an improvisation, something different than we're used to. Last time here. Take the right back down to the earth. Let's sweep in a spinal twist motion. Inhale, center. Spinal twist the other side. Inhale, center. Exhale, over to the right. Inhale, center. And I'm giving a little rock motion forward and back with the torso as well. You can improvise as much as you like here. And just enjoy the movement, the dance, the feeling of, the hips and the legs and the arms in motion. And then come back to center and circle. You're going to sit strong through the sit bones and then circle the torso. Circumduction and then reverse the action. It's that time of the evening where right outside my window, I see the deer. There's some deer grazing out there. It's their time to come through. They found a little watermelon or cantaloupe I set out for them. Let's hold here, very strong, and move the ribs side to side. Inhale, the arms overhead. Exhale, arms back down to the floor. Inhale, overhead. And exhale. Inhale, draw the breath to you. Exhale, press away. And we'll speed this action up. Inhale here, exhale. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. 12, 11, 10, 9. 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Bring the hands together. And the fingers, looks like there's about 5 big deer out there. That's really fun. Hold the breath in. Mula Bandha. Exhale, hands to your heart. Mula Bandha is the term we use for pelvic floor lift, like a Kegel, ladies, if you know what that is. And if you're not a surgeon, it's the pelvic bowl, being that band of muscle that moves from the pubic bone to the tailbone, sit bones. That band in there, we're drawing it in and up in a contraction. That's Mula Bandha. Let's try that again. Inhale, exhale, speeding up. Through the nose, exhale through the mouth. 6 more. 3, 2, and 1. And interlace the fingers. Inhale, hold the breath at the top with Mula Bandha. Stretch the ribs away from the hip. Hold it tall. Hold the in-breath. And exhale, release. Hands to heart. Bring the legs forward. So I'm going to remove the apparatus that I'm sitting on. Shake the legs out. And take the feet side to side. Little wiggle. Rotate the ankle. And the knees. So we get full joint mobility. Waking up. For me, it's waking up my joint. I've been seated at a computer for a long period of time today, so this really is helpful. And if you spend a lot of time in a seated fashion, that's probably so great as well. Let's bring the feet around and take your facing dog. Stretching through the shoulders, all the way to the hips, and from the hips all the way down to the heels. And then take a little side, and this being our first active downward facing dog, we can make it a little mobile. Dynamic movement, swaying the hips side to side. Then pause the hips, bring the torso forward. Inhale, drop the left knee to the floor, and then lift it back up. Exhale to a downward dog. Inhale forward, where you just gently touch the floor with the knee. Exhale back. Use your abdominal muscles to alternate left and right knee. Back to downward dog. Inhale forward, slight touching down, and exhale back. A couple times more. Exhale back. Last set here on the right. Exhale back, and then bring the left knee gently to the floor. Hold it here and press through your heel on the right side. So we're pressing back into the heel and then move through the metatarsals. Your toes get a little mobility as well as the ankle here, pointing and flexing. We're going to sweep the right leg out to the side. Inhale. Plant the foot to the earth. Exhale, take the hips back. Inhale, come back to center. Sweep the leg over to your left. Go over your shoulder. Pause, hold. Inhale again. Circle the leg to 3 o'clock. Exhale, hips back. Inhale, circle the leg to about 8 o'clock. Exhale, hold. Inhale, circle. Same leg, right leg. We're sitting back. Inhale, so nice for the nervous system and just getting the whole leg charged. Hold this time. We're gonna keep the hips back to the heel and get a powerful inner thigh stretch. Holding 3, 2, and the 1, and then come back to center. Let's keep that leg there. Reach up, and we'll thread through the right hand, reaching the right foot. Wow, so you're gonna come down to the head, supporting this posture with your right fingertips. The hips are high, and the chest is open to the side wall. So we're not closed like this, and we're not in the neck. So open to the side, looking at the ceiling. Any variation you'd like to take. One more breath. And slowly unwind to the floor, back to center, and now we'll tuck the right leg in. We'll just repeat that on the second side. So the left leg out, press the heel back and forward, back and forward. While you're doing the foot, I want you to pay attention to the hand, the pads of the fingers. Reach down strongly into the earth. So we have a grip and a strength in the forearms. I'm going to sweep the leg out to the left. It's going to require me to shift just a little bit. Press the hips back to the heel, exhaling. Inhale, shift the leg around to about 4 o'clock here. Exhale, hold. Inhale, sweep. Exhale, press the hips back, hold. Inhale, sweep the leg over to the left, right, and you're looking at the foot. Exhale, sit back. So there's a lot of coordination going on here. Your head and foot are moving in opposition to each other. The body's moving forward and back. The hands are stationary. And this time we're going to hold the hips back to the heel. And if you have variations on that, go ahead and create your own movement that feels appropriate in your body. Inhale back to center. Take the right time raising, and we thread through the left arm towards the foot, bringing the head and shoulder against the earth. Plug your left shoulder blade into the back body. So the shoulder blade here, that's showing on the top. Sometimes we let that sag and we sink into the earth. I want you to push the earth away, open the heart, the chest plate, shoulder blade on the back. 3 deep, distinct breaths, and then slowly rotate back to center. And we'll bring the leg around into our downward facing dog again, lifting the right knee off the ground. Inhale, come into a top of a push-up. Exhale, pads of the finger press away, downward facing dog. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. Let's speed it up. Inhale, exhale, through the nose, out through the mouth. 10 more. 9, 8. Inhale, exhale, 4 more. Inhale, exhale, 2. Last one. Inhale, forward into bring the knees, chest and chin to the earth. So it looks like this, Ashtangasana, and then release the hips, coming into low cobra. Exhale back into a downward dog. Take your feet wide, and then on your fingertips, walk back to the back third of your mat. Shift the hips back and make a hinge with a slight bend in the knee. And we're going to open up the posterior chain just a little bit. Back body, Lengthening the side body, reaching the arms forward as the hips move back. If your weight's here in the whole foot, there's a possibility you can push back more, here more at the hip. And then bring the hips over the heel, elbow to knee, head above the heart. Inhale, the hands to the thigh, roll up slowly. Exhale, roll down slowly. So going in and out of this cat-cow. Inhale, raising up. Exhale, going down. One more. Rising up. One more. Going down. And then all the way to stand. You can shimmy it out, shake the legs out. Come to a full stand. Raising the arms overhead. Exhale, holding the wrist up and over to your right side. So I have the right arm holding the left wrist, and I'm just gently coaxing the upper body into the C shape. Coming back to center. I get over to the left. Crescent lunge. A crescent moon shape. We're not lunging. The torso's lifting. Inhale, come back to center. Now pay attention more to the hips. We're going to swing the hips side to side very slowly and keep the spine lifting up and let it move in the opposite direction. So as I shift the hips to the left, the torso automatically moves to the right, and I pull the torso back up with my obliques. Exhale over to the left. Use that whole side body lifting up. We want to powerhouse, power up our obliques. Get the whole midsection here working. Exhale over. Inhale, lift with your right obliques. Exhale, keep them toned as you take the torso to the right, the hips to the left, and then switch. Inhale, exhale, switch. So we're initiating the movement not from the arms, not from the head, but from here, the hips, and using the core muscles to lift us back up to center. Last time. And hold it strong here. Bring the arms down. Now, shake the hands out. We'll place the hands at the base of the spine. So the fingertips can be up, turned out, or facing down, elbows hugging in. Then you'll lift the sternum. Keep a lot of length in this back side. So the tailbone's tucking down. And the sternum is lifting up. I want to see that action very strongly initiated. The whole body, hold the hands there on the back side. One more breath. You can even close the eyes, and on your inhale, use your whole front body, this whole core, to lift back, ground the feet into the earth, arms overhead, and exhale, bring them back down to your side. So we'll stand to the top of the mat and do some sun salutations. Inhale, sweeping arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step the right leg back. Classic sun salutations. So we'll drop the knee gently to the floor, straighten the front leg, and then bend. So again, rather than being a forward back motion, make a little side to side sweep with your hips. So your hips begin to move and enjoy this deliciousness opening up here. Two more. And last one. Hold the bend in the front knee, Asana. Bring the hands to the thigh. And then work your way up the torso, up. So the right arm can simply come to the sky. Maybe the left arm can join. Make sure you're supported from the ground up. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step all the way back into downward facing dog. Inhale to the top of a push-up, and we have that really awkward move again. Ashtangasana, chest and shin to the earth. Inhale, low cobra. That's something we're all familiar with. Exhale, downward facing dog. Raise the right leg to the sky. Then step forward. So we'll bring that right foot all the way forward, keeping the back knee elevated this time. We'll raise the hip, inhale, and lower the hip, exhale. Raise it, inhale, exhale, lower. We're really trying to open this whole back channel a little bit in a dynamic way. We're not holding big stretches. We're more strengthening, extending, and then bending. Last time here, hold the low lunge and then press off at the back foot, step forward, inhaling to a flat back. Exhale, bring the head closer to the shin. So we're going into a full forward fold. Then push the floor away. Inhale, raise up, palms together, and then bring the hands to your heart center. And we'll repeat that on the second side. I'm going to tuck my shirt in. Here we go. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale. This time the left leg will step back in a giant way. Bring the knee to the floor. Inhale, lifting the heart. Exhale, straighten the leg. Inhale, forward. And again, mobility through the hip. Because I'm and giving it a little figure 8 action. Make sure your knee has plenty of support. You might want a blanket. Last one. And then hold the bend. Anjaneyasana. So we're in the low lunge with the knee on the ground, the hands possibly sweeping up or being held on the knee. So we're taking that into a crescent shape again, holding for 3, 2, again, squeeze biceps to the ear, and 1. The challenge is holding this for the full breath, so we're strengthening. Bring the hands to the floor, step all the way back. Inhale to the top of a push-up, knees, chest and chin to the earth. Exhale. Inhale, low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, raise the left leg. Step all the way forward. Pause. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale. Inhale, lift. So we're on that second side. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale. One more time. We're going to push off with the back foot. Step it to the foot. So really push hard with the standing leg. Come forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forehead towards the shin. Now hold here. Wrap the elbows around the shin. Squeeze in. And then press your thighs wide. So we got movement here with a really strong, powerful opening in the back body, a deeper stretch. And yes, if you've been hiking or walking, some mobility outside, this might be tough, it might be tight. It is for me. One more breath. Inhale, release the torso. Exhale, hands, waist with a little bend in the knees. So we start to lift the heart above, the head above the heart. And then inhale, rise all the way to standing and shake it out. Shake the hands. This is a really good practice to do when you get tired, lethargic. Simple movements of changing the energy, like flicking it out of the fingers or shaking it out of the legs. Super helpful, and I like to do it. It's like my favorite thing. So we're going to come back to the front. Inhale, up, arms, exhale, forward fold. And then step back into your facing dog. We'll do some preps for a headstand here.
And the first thing we'll do is start on the knees and bring your thumbs together. So I still am on the hands and knees. My thumbs are touching. Fingers are facing slightly inward, but not much. They might be a little pigeon-toed. Sweep my elbows. So elbows have a little mobility here. Shoulders have some mobility. And as I curl the elbows under, I'm going to bend and lower to the earth, and then straighten again. Exhale, lower. Inhale, straighten. Actually, inhale, lower. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, exhale, press. Once you have this action, you do this action again with the toes turned under. So we're actually in a downward facing dog. You may need to separate the hands a little bit, but it's to lower the elbows and then press back up. And don't worry if you can't do this the first time. This is a very difficult move or maneuver to do. Strength-wise, requires so much from your back. And coordination-wise, you have to actually relax your the pectoralis muscle. So if you're thinking like a push-up, think again. This is tricep action. That would be push-up part and strengthening and your upper back. So again, from a downward facing dog, you're going to sweep the elbows in, broaden the shoulders, connect to the back, lift the belly, and then lower down slowly. So the elbows are on the mat, and then press back up when the elbows are off the mat. You're building some strength in the arms and shoulders and triceps. Yay? And you may need to stay on the knees for a little bit and just give this the practice. It's the same extension across the shoulder, the same connection in the upper back. And when you get this down pretty well and do 10, and it fatigues, it's fatiguing for sure, then you can start with the feet off the ground. Okay, enough of that play. We're going to bring the elbows to the earth and keep them there. The hands gripping the elbow, that's the distance you want with your elbow, so about an arm's length. And then bring the hands as close to parallel as is appropriate or possible. Turn the toes under, again, and come into a dolphin. The dolphin is going to help us with our supported headstand. Come forward and then push the floor away with your thumbs and take it back. Inhale forward, exhale, tone the navel, lift the belly. Inhale forward, forearms pressing the shoulders behind the elbow, and then stabilizing the shoulder as it comes forward. We just want a little bit of movement here, rocking motion. Okay. Once you have that, hold the shoulders behind the elbow, walk your feet in maybe an inch. Straighten the legs as much as possible. Reach the right leg up to the sky. Hold for 3. Hold for 2. And hold one more breath. And lower that foot to the floor. You can take a break in between. Anytime coming to child's pose, or simply switch to the left leg and hold 3 breaths here. You're holding the pose, not the breath. You're taking 3 breaths to stay in the posture. Maybe one more. And we bring the left leg to the earth. Bring the knees. And then simply sit the hips back to the heels. That should relieve all the pressure that you're feeling in your shoulder and arm. You're definitely going to build some muscle as you practice holding that for a long period of time. Great thing to do. Then walk your hands back up. We're going to turn the toes under in what we call a screaming toe. And after a few minutes, you'll see why that's a screaming toe.
You can come out of this posture anytime you'd like. What I'm more concerned about, or what we're working on, is the position of the elbows in a supported headstand. So we'll be doing it supported headstand, upright. Interlace the fingers, making a horseshoe shape, and then pull the wrists in so they're not wide like this. I need to get a little bit closer. So they're pulling in, finger pads gripping the knuckles. Then your elbows are even with the shoulders, not wider than and not narrow. They're just right even with the shoulder. You're going to reach behind and connect the pad of the thumb with the back of the head. So I don't know if you can see this with my ponytail, but it looks like that. I still have space in my hand, cupping the hand or holding it or pulling it. The pad of the thumb is safely connected to the back of the head. I'm going to push the head back, and that makes this flat line of my forearm and the top of the head even. Now the part of the head that will go to the floor is 2 fingers up from the forehead and 2 fingers forward from the crown. So it's just right about right here. Okay, you're pushing back. This is an upside right. Headstand, supported, belly firm in, ribs in, and then you're going to release the arms and shake out the feet. If you kept that screaming toe the whole minute and a half I was explaining that, more power to you. That's a long time to hold screaming toe. Very good. So come to the earth and let's make that shape. Middle of the room. So today, without using a wall, we're not necessarily kicking up. We're doing your version of. So what's possible? This might be possible. You're going to make a horseshoe. Just take the steps with me. Elbows are underneath the shoulder, not wider or narrower. And you place that point on the head that I talked about. Lift the hips and walk your feet in. Pause. Don't kick up. We're going to push the forearms into the earth and lift the head off the ground, and then gently snug it back in. Lift and lower. We want this action. We want to be able to have full control over how much weight is on the head. It's not a pile drive. You don't want the neck compromised in any way, shape, or form. Okay. The next motion here, once you have that power, is just to simply lift a leg. You'll see where it resides. And if it still keeps lifting and we keep hugging to center line, possibly the second leg will float. Possibly, okay, with a lot of practice. Don't kick up. Don't make it come off the ground. Just keep your standing leg in the air and keep lifting. Even if it's a bent knee, keep lifting and hugging to center line. You could do this whole thing with the bent. Lower the right leg and then bring the left leg up. Lift the forehead or the head off the ground. Remember, light touch. Keep all the power in the. Keep the weight off of the head. Only a third should be there, not all of it. Squeeze the inner thighs. One leg stays raised. Hold it, hold it. This is where we're building strength, power. And then simply come down and rest the knees. Sit back on your heels. Make a stacking fist and rest your forehead. Okay, with a lot of practice, this becomes more accessible, more and more. And we can't get to a full headstand if if full means both feet off the ground. So you're taking it to the fullness of your headstand that's the possible for you right now. If you don't, if you just, oh, I can't do that, there's never the momentum to put you in an arena. Like we have to play chopsticks before we can play Mozart. That's just how it is. So practice, 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 right? I love it. And that's so cool because we have a lifetime to do this. So take a downward dog. Bring your feet a little wider. Grip the floor strongly. Lift the heart forward and look at the top of your mat with a little bend in the knees. Lift the hips back. And then take the head and drop it. Inhale, lift. We're just releasing the neck. Exhale, drop. Inhale, lift. Exhale, press all the way back into downward dog, straightening the legs, pressing through the arms. This feels like more of a break, doesn't it? After hard work. Let's walk your feet up to your hands. Inhale, take a full extension forward, power, tabletop. Exhale, drop in and down. Inhale, let's come all the way to standing. Palms together and hands heart center. We have time to do one more small, short little sequence with our salutation. Lift the arms overhead. Exhale, forward. Inhale, step the right leg back. Spin the heel to the floor and come right into a side angle. The right arm sweeping around. So it's extended out, bicep to the ear. Then we're going to reverse that motion, the shoulder, and come to that starting point again. Reverse, big circle, all the way up and over. Inhale, big circle. This time lift yourself up to a warrior two. Keep that mandala going, the circle action of the arms by sweeping the left arm overhead. Side angle. Exhale, and then we'll use that arm movement we did at the beginning of class. Reintroduce it. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. We're going from a reverse warrior into side angle. Deep bend in the front thigh, front knee. Sorry, your thigh doesn't bend, but your knee does. Deep bend there. Planting the heel very strongly in both sides, really. One more time. Hold the reverse action. Straighten the front leg and then come through center, and we'll move into Triconasana. Flow sequence. Take arm and extend it overhead. Inhale, reverse the action in a big mandala. Mandala just means garland or a circle that comes, actually. And one more time. Bring your right arm all the way to the floor. Pop the back heel and come into a side movement. Twist. Left arm lifting. Circle the arm 3 times. Hold strong through the power through the back heel. Put your left hand and step all back into downward facing dog. One full side. Inhale, come into a top of a push-up. Just that awkward moment where we bring knees to the floor. And rather than a chaturanga, hold it steady here, hug the elbows in, and then lift heart towards the mat, and the chin elevates as well. Shoulders off the mat. Inchworm your way into a low cobra. And then exhale into downward facing dog. And we're not moving at a fast pace, we're moving at a pace where you can really pay attention to what's serving you in the moment. Too fast, sometimes we can injure ourselves, and too soon, if we're going too far too soon, it will cause an injury. So really watch that. Let's take the right leg, bend the knee, and then just lift the knee a little bit so we start to peek open with the hip towards moving to the right without compromising your left side body or your left leg.
Stay steady and strong. Then step the right leg forward. Shift the weight to the right, the left leg, and come into a warrior three. So this will be our power pose of the evening, or you can use a block. And then one arm comes to a jet airplane, push through the floor, the other arm, or both overhead if you'd like. We're holding that for 3. That's already 2. One more. And then use your whole front body, lifting the heart like a magnet towards the back wall. And then your left leg comes right underneath you for a soft landing, possibly, and shake it out. So a lot of energy expenditure there. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, forward flow. Hold. Inhale, step the left leg back, spin it, come into a side angle. With the left arm now reaching up and over, and then it's going to reverse the circle. Coming forward, reverse it again. All the way around. I'm letting my eyes follow the trajectory of the hands and lift me into warrior 2. Look out over the front fingers and then reverse it. Here, and then side angle. Forearm to the thigh. Inhale up and over, and we're going to use that top arm to create some painting, some big brush strokes with the hand in a circle motion. Freedom of the upper torso as the lower body remains very steady and strong. Again, moving in that mandala style. Pause here. Take it all the way into reverse and then straighten the front leg. Go back through middle alignment. Shift the ribs forward, the hips back, and come into a triangle pose. Triconasana, this is my favorite. Holding 3, we're going to take the arm over the ear. 2, let's reverse the action of the shoulder. Big circle. And one more. Take the arm in another power circle all the way to the floor. Bend the front knee and lift your back heel off the ground. And now I am facing you. I like that much better. So the arm all the way around in a big circle. 2 and one more. Plant the hand, step all the way back, downward facing. Almost done with this full sequence. So come forward, top of a push-up. The knees, chest and chin come to the earth. Inhale, low cobra, or a full upward facing dog. Exhale, toes turn over, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Take the left leg to the sky. Then as we bend the knee, we're just going to simply lift it a little higher and open the hip. So we're stacking hip on hip. Keep your stable, this leg stable. This should feel super awesome. Ribs pulling in. You don't want to dump into the low back. Hold it steady. And then step the left leg forward. Shift the weight all the way to the left leg, coming into warrior 3. So the right leg now elevates and we hold until you feel supported. This is probably the more difficult way of coming into warrior 3, but we're doing it nonetheless. Keep your back leg elevated, hamstring engaged, pull the belly in, ribs in, and then float the arms to your side, possibly to the heart center. Either way, we're extending forward. That's already 1 or 1.5 breaths. Let's hold it for 2 more. 1 more breath. Really lay. And then power up. Push strongly through that base foot so you can reach. Opposite leg comes under. And then we bring the hands together at the heart center. And now comes the fun part of bringing it more to the floor and cooling it down. Inhale. Raise the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees and just take the hips to the floor. So you're going to shift the legs through to a seated pose. Shaking the legs out. Inhale, lift tall. Exhale, forward fold. Take the hands over the toes and to a full forward. Breathe in and breathe out. One more. Maybe two more. It's feeling very, very pleasant. Inhale, let's come back up. And because we're doing handstands, possibly in the morning, not in this class, we're going to extend the torso, pull the ribs in, and then bring the arms overhead, keeping the back very vertical, as if you're against a wall. So the shoulders would be touching, your low back would probably not be touching, and back of the head would be touching. Arms overhead, ribs in, and then flatten the palms and press an invisible ceiling away. Try to get the elbows straight as possible. So if they're here, shrug the shoulders up a little bit, possibly get some mobility. Take 10 pops. Pops to the ceiling. Push, push, push. 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then keep the shoulder blades on the back. Hold steady. Lift the head. Lift your gaze. More elbows straight. Thumbs back. Hold. Ribs in. And then release. You should feel that connection in the upper back. May or may not. We're going to flip down. I keep my block handy. So down 10 degrees. Hold for a breath. Come down another 10 degrees. Hold for a breath. Another 10 degrees. Hold for a breath. We'll do that 5 times. Another 10 degrees. Hold. My heels. Keep your heels down if you can. Another 10 degrees. Hold. And then finally release the head. Hook the thumbs and stretch it all the way above the head. Bring your arms down to the side. Bend the knees and come into bridge. We'll lift the hips up off the ground. Holding, walk the feet in so your toes touch and knees touch. That requires a lot of inner thigh strength. So if your knees are bowing, you're using more glute and not enough inner thigh. Squeeze it in, touch the knees, keep them touching. And then extend your right leg out, touching the knees. Squeeze, squeeze, hug, hug, hug. Lower the right leg, left leg extends. Hold, squeeze, use the little bit of glute, a lot of inner thigh, a lot of pressing down to the floor, both feet flat and firm. Lift the hips and then exhale, release. All the way back down. I give it a little pelvic tilt. And then we'll take your block or something firm like a blanket, really rolled up. Place it under the sacrum. We're going to come into a 10 breath shoulder stand supported. You ride the shoulder blades underneath the back. Keep the sternum towards the chin lifted. So it's very neutral here. We're not tucking the chin, lifted. With that energy, take the legs to the sky, making a plumb line from your ankle to your hip. A very straight line vertically. Supported shoulder stand. Not a lot of weight. If you have a shoulder stand in your practice and you'd like to take the hips up, you can press the elbows down. They're really hooked into the side, and then lift the hips up off the block. Catch the back of the come into that full shoulder stand. Your awareness is the gaze up at your feet, that your neck is straight and not compromised, and there is no weight on the cervical into the back of the nose. 30, about 7 breaths. Let's take 3 more wherever you're at. Could even take Halasana for the last 2, or you simply keep the hips on the block in a supported shoulder stand. 1 more breath, and then look at the feet back down to the earth. You're going to remove the block and bring your arms underneath the hips. Palms are flat to the floor, the thumbs touching. I'm going to straighten the elbows and then lower the hips. So I'm essentially sitting on my wrists right now. As I extend the legs out, I'm sitting on my hands. I'm going to lift the shoulders off the ground, lifting the chest and bending the elbows, which could really bring me upright. But I'm going to lay the head back and touch lightly on the earth. This is called fish pose. It's a great balanced posture, a counterbalance to stand. Tuck the chin, lower back down to the earth, and bend the knees, removing the wrists. Let's cross the right ankle over the left, draw the knee in, making a figure 4. Oh, that's really nice. Our first real big hip stretch. That's got to feel good. Right, coax the knee open with your elbow. Let's just hold this for 5 breaths. One more. Full and full breath. We'll take the foot to the floor and the feet over to your left. Nice easy spinal twist. Releasing the low back, releasing the hip. Bring it back to center. Let's switch sides. So we'll cross the left ankle over the right thigh. Bring the knee in. There's an eye of the needle. We're just gently bringing the knee closer to give a deeper stretch on the hip. It should feel super, super yummy. Let's release the leg. Let the feet drop over. You can even roll the head side to side, just releasing any neck tension. Let's bring that back to center. And then extend your heels to the pocket of your mat. So there's a little bit of space. Maybe shake the legs until you feel like they have all the wiggles out. That's what we would do in kindergarten, right? Wiggle and shake all the wiggles out. And then see how still you can be. You can be a human being rather than a human doer. Deep relaxation for a few minutes here in Shavasana. Allow yourself that deep, restful, meditative state. Relaxing the head, cheekbones, the muscles of the forehead. Release and relax into the earth. Release and relax the shoulders. Release and relax the torso, the arms, the hands, the hips, the legs, all the way down to the feet.
Our inquiry this month has been, what's possible? When we say impossible, even the word has I'm possible in it. So a better inquiry is, what can I do? You prove today the possibilities. Take another 30 seconds to deeply relax and release. Lengthen your in-breath. Exhale to the extremities. Gently bring the knees in, roll to one side. Honor yourself with a deep acknowledgement of gratitude. Being very specific. I am so grateful for the strength I showed and stamina in building a handstand, in screaming toe, whatever it is. How you showed up today. And seated position. Bring the hands to heart center. We'll end with a round of Om. Let's breathe in together. Exhale with a sigh. And then with an Om. Inhale. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste.